Thor is here with another look at the Terran 2 Rax Rush opening, this time against Protoss. There's a couple things that I forgot to mention last time that I wanted to say. First is that these games are real ladder games. They're games that I played on the ladder, replays recorded to play back for you guys. And I am a diamond level player on the ladder. My opponents are pretty much always high level platinum players. So that means that my rating has probably gone down a bit since I've been practicing these new strategies, which is okay. They're still fun games, but you will generally see me playing against high-level platinum players. Also, I have been showing the replay at normal speed, which actually is not the normal speed. The normal speed is faster, this higher speed. That's the speed that is played on the actual ladder, and that's the speed I played these games at. So if my reaction times seem a little slow or something in the game, it's because I was playing it faster and the replay is just at normal. So let's take a look. The reason that I show things in such detail and at slow speeds is so that you guys can see exactly what's going on and you can try to recreate these games, first of all in a practice match against custom bots or something like that. And then once you've perfected the timings and the build, you can move over to the real ladder, play at full speed, and own some noobs. So that's a pretty good split there at the beginning. Let's see when this last mineral comes in. So mineral 30, it came in at 11 seconds, so that's a great split. Notice my workers are evenly spread out on the patches. That's really good.
SCV ready.
So one thing that's a bummer about maps like this, where the minerals are on one side of your command center, not on two sides like a diagonal, is that there's only 2 mineral patches that are actually close to your command center, where the SCVs have a short travel distance to get there. The rest are on this kind of big arc far away from your command center. So when there's a diagonal, there's usually 4 mineral patches that are close, and here there's only 2. So that's going to delay my build a bit. One thing you can do to fight against that is to double up SCVs on the closer mineral patches. But that's really hard to do. SCVs are really finicky. What you have to do is time it so that just as an SCV is returning to one of these close patches and another one is leaving, you grab the one that's leaving and you shift Q, right click on the patch, and he should come back just as this SCV on the close patch is returning. And that way you can double up. Sometimes you have to spam right click, sometimes you have to grab the guy that was already there and spam right click him, sometimes you have to spam right click a couple returns later because they're really finicky. They really don't want to be at this patch, they want to be at some of these untaken patches. I'm not sure why. So sometimes you have to wrestle with them a bit. Sometimes even after it looks stable, after a while it falls apart and they go to another patch as well. So it's tough. You just got to kind of practice. It's an art, and there's a bit of luck to it. So the first thing I'm doing here is just waiting for 120 minerals around there to build my supply depot. And there it is, out of the way. So that's good. Probably could have built it a bit closer, then my guy could get back sooner, but he might get blocked by the geyser or something. Notice I did shift Q back this worker, and then that second worker, if you saw him twitch a bit, it's because I was spam right click on this mineral patch to get him to stick there. So now they're stuck on this patch pretty well. There's 2 guys on this short mineral patch, so that's good. But I do make one mistake there. See, I pulled off a worker that was on the short patch, so once I got it set up, I should have just left it there so that there would be 2 guys getting this short mineral forever instead of pulling off one. Now there's only 1 guy getting that patch now. But I did throw down that Rax at 150 minerals. It was pretty good timing there. Of course, now there's only 2 SCVs on the close mineral patches. The other SCVs are all on these far ones, so that's no good. I think I'm going to try queuing this guy over, so now I do double up on this mineral patch. This mineral patch is still only 1 though. So this is going to affect the timing of my build here. The target time is 1:39 to throw down your second Rax. That's the bottleneck, getting that 150 minerals. And I'm sending out this SCV a bit too late. He really should have gone a bit sooner. So see right here, I already have 150 minerals, but I'm not at the spot to build my barracks yet. It's already well past the time I should have thrown it down, but I could have done it a bit sooner. So 1:45 was actually the time that I threw down this barracks, so that's about 6 seconds late. And that's due to A, the fact that I only had 2 close mineral patches, B, the fact that I kind of mismicroed the doubling up a little bit, and C, the fact that I pulled off the worker a bit too late to build this barracks at the ramp. So I'm trying to show things in my own camera perspective that I actually had while I was playing the game, so we can kind of see what I was looking at when I did it. Typically I look at things like progress bars to see when they're done, so I know exactly when to do the next thing, or I'm just kind of setting up hotkeys, things like that. Sometimes I don't really look at the interesting things, which is too bad. A lot of times I'm looking down here as well to see what's building. So I'm setting up my hotkeys for my barracks. They're set on 4. That's good. Setting the waypoints to reasonable places. And once this barracks is done, I will be building a marine. That'll be supply number 9. I already built an SCV for supply 8. And for supply 10, I'll be building another SCV.
SCV ready.
Here I've let the minerals climb a bit too high. I should have been able to build an SCV already, but maybe I got thrown off a bit off my game because of those close mineral patch things. I was too focused on that. So I built marine number 11, and I'm going to hit marine number 12 as well once this barracks is done.
SCV ready.
13 is going to be an SCV. And then for 14, I'm going to be queuing up the next marine here with my next 15 minerals.
Armed
there it is.
and ready.
Now notice that the enemy Protoss player has sent a scouting worker to check me out. But I'm not going to overreact. I'm not going to like send my marines to attack it or try to kill it or anything like that. If it's not bothering me, I'm not going to bother him, because the timings I'm trying to get here are really important. You got to be focused on what you're doing on your micro of sending out your workers to scout and all that stuff. So I can't focus too much on killing this worker. He has scouted me. He sees my 2 barracks. He sees 2 marines here. He's got to know something's up, so we'll see what happens. So this is the point that I like to send out my scouting workers. So there's 1 I sent out, and there's the 2nd I sent out. And I'm using the minimap right here. I'm clicking and using Shift. So this guy is going to this rightmost position and back, and this guy is going over to this leftmost position and back. That'll give me my perfect scout, and I'll know exactly where the enemy is. So with supply 15, I made my next marine. And at this point, I have I've already set up my hotkey number 3, where I got 4 SCVs, and I'm just moving my marines out and getting them at this ramp, so they'll be ready to move out when my 5th marine pops out. So there's the 4th marine. I immediately queue up another. That's really important to keep them queued up. I'm getting ready to send out my squad. I've set them to control group 2. Here's the 5th marine, and we're ready to go. And I have another marine queued up, so everything's good. I've selected my SCVs, and I'm going to send them out. I see nothing over on the left-hand side, so I'm going to select that SCV and add him to control group 3, shift 3. And this SCV also sees nothing, so I'm going to add him to control group 3 as well.
This better be good.
I'm hitting forward to make sure that my barracks are constantly producing units. It's so important. So now I have 5 marines moving out. I have 6 SCVs in hot group 3, and I have 2 more marines ready to reinforce. So notice there, he sent out his probe to kind of see what was going on, and I didn't overreact. I didn't like chase the probe or anything, because that's precious seconds. If you try and chase that guy, he can just run away, and in the grand scheme of things, it's not worth it to kill this 1 probe. I got to get into this base and do as much damage as quickly as possible. So here I'm stopping my marines a little bit. I kind of want my SCVs to get in front so they can tank things. So here we see what he has is 1 zealot, and he's got a probe building a pylon here. We'll see what happens. So my 5 marines were actually able to do a ton of damage and kill that zealot very quickly. All he killed was 1 SCV, so that was a great trade. And now, it looks like he's trying to keep me out of his base. He wasn't expecting this big rush, no one really is, although he should have been, because he scouted it up here. And so now in a panic, he is throwing down pylons. He's got 3 pylons on his ramp to stop me from moving into his base. Luckily, with these range units, I'm able to put out enough DPS to destroy this pylon, so I have free access to his base. So now he's got his second army unit out, this Stalker. And Stalkers can actually be a big problem for this build. If you can keep your Stalker alive, keep him back, just get pot shots on SCVs, get pot shots on Marines, they can kill things very quickly, especially if things are tanking for them, like if he still had that Zealot alive, if he pulled the Zealot back, or if he was using his probes to tank for him. This Stalker could do quite a bit of damage, and I know they can do a lot of damage, so what I decided to do is put all of my SCVs on the Stalker. That way he has to make a choice. He can either shoot and scoot micro with his Stalker all day with my SCVs beating on him, and try to deal with my Marines with his probes or something, or he can just let me beat on the Stalker. We'll see what happens. So I got my 5 Marines and then 2 more reinforcements.
Our SCVs are under attack.
You can see at this point he's pulled off all of his probes. They were originally to deal with these 5 Marines, or 5 SCVs, but since these SCVs weren't attacking, they were moving to chase this Stalker, the probes decided to turn, because they were attack moving, and attack my Marines instead. So now he's got to kind of deal with 2 things at once. He's got these SCVs chasing around a Stalker, and he's got all his probes attack moving against my Marines. And he's decided to micro his Stalker, so we'll see how it works out. Doing the shoot and scoot with my Marines, you notice he was able to kill a Marine there. These probes actually do quite a significant amount of damage with their little shock laser beam. So you don't want to get too many probes able to shock your units at the same time. So I was able to kill quite a few probes with my shoot and scoot micro. I have 2 more Marines coming in with reinforcements. And look how much damage these SCVs have done. He's been microing the Stalker the whole time. He's managed to kill 1 SCV, but there's still 4 left, and the Stalker's almost dead. And he's running his probes back. So he wants to harvest some more minerals, I suppose. Looks like he's got pretty low minerals. So he's got this 3rd unit that's come out, this Zealot. We'll see what happens with that. Zealots do pretty significant damage, so this is a little bit scary. But I was able to sacrifice 1 Marine to kill 1 Zealot, so that is, once again, a great trade. And he was so focused on microing that Stalker that he actually didn't even, he didn't have time to bring over his probes. His probes could have helped out a lot defending with that Zealot. And he actually ran his Stalker right into my shoot and scooting Marines, which was pretty funny. So he's got no attacking units left. Let's see what happens. I head straight for the probes, trying to just clear out as many units that can attack as I possibly can. So there he did a great thing. He actually moved his probes ahead and then attack moved, and you see that he actually caught 1 of my Marines here. They're going to be able to easily kill that Marine. He needed to do more of that. So he does have another Zealot that came out. I was able to finish off the last of his probes, and we'll see if I can deal with the Zealot. Notice here that my micro has been so intensely focused on shooting and scooting these Marines that I've not been able to use enough APM to micro these other SCVs over here. They would have helped a lot in all these situations, but they're just kind of hanging out here doing nothing. Also, I think I have forgotten to hit reinforcements at some point. I think I could have had more units here at this point. I think these are a little delayed because I forgot to queue up Marines. It's hard to, do all this stuff all at once. So here's this Zealot, and he's been able to kill a couple of my Marines. He's doing a really good job. But I am able to just barely finish him off. So now I have this 1 Marine. I'm grabbing the rest of my SCVs. And he did finish Warp Gate technology, so he was probably going for a 4-gate or some sort of fast Warp Gate sort of build. He does have enough minerals to warp in 1 more unit, which is a sentry. So I'm going to try and deal with that. For some reason he decides that it's in his best interest to force field off his ramp instead of immediately attacking this really low health Marine, which is an interesting choice. And he does kill that Marine, but my SCVs are able to beat on it. They can't really do anything.
SCV ready.
He really has like no units left. So yeah, these SCVs are the heroes of the day. They were just able to do a ton of damage. So that's why it's so important to bring SCVs with you. They can just be a great addition to your army. At this point, all he has left is this one probe, and he leaves the game because he knows he can't do anything at this point. So that's the game. I've won. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next time when I use this build again.